All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now what I'm going to talk about right now is going to really upset some of you who are not in the know, and then it's going to burst the bubble of those that think that you are. You know, Donald Trump ran on this campaign of making America great again, and Donald Trump, for lack of a better term, has just pretty much destroyed the United States, folks. That's right. That's right, with his executive power privilege that he invoked to get, I think, 55 miles of wall built. He single-handedly, with his right hand, gave the biggest flush down the toilet to this country's long-term well-being, safety, security, prosperity, economic outlook, and safety of children and human rights down the proverbial toilet. Not to be outdone since George Bush's daddy back in 86. That's right. You know, I live in Fullerton, California, folks. And by the way, this is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California 92834. On the web at wifidangers.com, thefullertoninformer.com, and on the email joeimbriano777@gmail.com. Fullerton is a city in Southern California that is in the middle of Orange County, central Orange County, if you will. And there are a lot of people on the streets, folks. A lot of these people are on the streets because of various reasons. Economic reasons is a large part of it. A lot of these people are on the streets because they were in the military and they fought these proxy wars and came back jacked up and hopped up on pills and drugs, and now they're being overly medicated by the VA because that's how they treat people. They just drug them and ship them out. And so they end up on the streets with, you know, a little spoon and a syringe in their backpack and a pack of Bic lighters. And, you know, the Chiva and the Oxys and the Jib and everything else they want to put in that little spoon and heat it up over that hot little fire. But folks, we got a big problem in Orange County because there is a problem that has resulted in the commoditization of housing. The commoditization of housing has put tremendous upward pressure on rents, and the commoditization of affordable housing has been produced by the influx of illegal aliens into this country who produce anchor babies and bring children into this country illegally. So these women who never get married can crank out these babies while these men never marry their women and work for cash under the table and displace American workers for the trade jobs and destroy the trades, because all of these contractors are operating without workers' comp and general liability insurance, undercutting the legitimate people in the trade who have run legitimate businesses for years. And all those jobs are going to the illegals. And so when you have the trade jobs displaced, you have the lower level jobs disappearing, and those people that normally filled them fill the streets. Those people that fill the streets end up on drugs and end up committing crimes and end up getting involved with the criminal justice system's spider web, and they can never get out. They can't get a job, they can't get hired, they can't get off the streets, so they stay on the streets. And we got a problem with child trafficking, because all these illegal alien day laborers who don't get married, who sire children all over the place, love the massage parlors, and they like their happy endings. And in order to supply the demand for the day labor illegal alien massage parlor patrons, there has to be a constant influx of child trafficking to supply the indentured servitude girls for these massage parlors that are really nothing more than brothels and rape bins for these perverts. That's right. And then it translates over out into the streets, because if they run out of money and they still want their happy ending, they'll grab someone off the street and force themselves on that person off the streets. So what did Trump do to make all this so bad? Well, he gave amnesty to tens of millions of people, and he created an open blockchain of amnesty, the likes of which Ted Kennedy would be extremely proud of. And George Bush Sr. Would jump out of his grave and pour everybody in the room a martini. Because what he's done is he's done the following, folks, and this is the most despicable, horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. If you live in a home with an unaccompanied child that's undocumented, if you're friends with or related to an unaccompanied, undocumented child, you get to stay. And you get to bring your friends, and you can't be deported. That's right. So what this has done is this has turned the undocumented child, unaccompanied minor, into a commodity. Now Donald Trump has commoditized the child trafficking industry. That's right, because each unaccompanied, undocumented minor is going to be worth their weight in platinum, not gold, folks, platinum. They're going to be so valuable to secure benefits and secure entry and remain in this country literally on a carte blanche credit line that never has to be paid back. It's unbelievable. So we get a few miles of border, I think, in El Paso. Is it along the Rio Grande or whatever? And then the rest of the 2,000 miles remains wide open. In the meantime, Trump has gone ahead and yanked a bunch of funding away from projects that were already approved by Congress, which he does not have the authority to do. Congress controls the purse strings. What does he do? He goes and yanks the funding for things like the bullet train. Look, I'm against a bullet train, but you know what? The government has powers that are delegated to certain branches of the government, folks. And this guy has taken a tyrannical turn and really doled us out a dirty deal, folks. You know, he ran on the premise of making America great again and protecting the United States and, you know, re-energizing our economy. And what has he done? Let me tell you what the biggest threat to our economy is, folks. There are three threats, okay? The first one is all of the backdoor access that a foreign country that is not getting 5G, that invented 5G, has to all of our infrastructure, all right? They put, you know, they got these computer chips and all the pumps and the traffic control devices and the electrical power generating systems and the computers and the toasters and the refrigerators, the air conditioners, the telecommunication system, the cell tower power systems, everything, backdoors and all of them. 5G is going to basically make that back door like the Holland Tunnel with high occupancy vehicle lanes in it, folks, for a foreign power that can literally bring this country to its knees. That's the first threat to the United States. Donald Trump is doing everything in his power to roll 5G out, to make sure it's everywhere and everything's connected to it, so there's a back door to every single electronic device in the United States of America that can be remotely accessed, remotely hacked, and screwed with to screw with us and screw us over and bring us to our knees. Number one. Number two, all of these illegal aliens that aren't being kicked out of this country are going to set up camp, take jobs, take benefits, take places in the classrooms, fill up the emergency rooms, and drain the social service network funding from able-bodied American citizens that have fallen on hard times. That's right. You wonder why Social Security is going bankrupt? You know what? All you have to do is come over here with a matricula card and claim that you're confused about certain things and get on psychotropic medications, and you're on SSI. Tax-free, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's how it works. All the money is going out the door to a bunch of crooked rip-off artists to get lawyers and know how to work the system. And it just got a hell of a lot worse, folks. And don't defend Trump anymore. Stop it. You need to wake up. All right? Here's the problem. The jobs are disappearing. That's the biggest problem with this economy, besides what I just mentioned with the 5G, which is a major, major problem. And I guarantee our next terrorist attack is going to be cyber, folks. You mark my words. Because this has been planned decades in advance, and they're working on it right now, and you better just be ready for the unexpected when it comes to a cyber terrorist attack on this country, because it's all in the cards, folks. Now, the second thing that's destroying the United States that he's definitely personally involved in is this amnesty. And you cannot run a country and run an economy when you're being invaded, and then you're encouraging people to invade you while only putting up a fence around your swimming pool, leaving your front yard, your backyard, and your side yard wide open, because that's what he's doing. And not only that, what Trump has done, picture, if you will, the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas. If you've ever been there, it's quite a sight, quite a layout. I happen to be Italian, and I can appreciate the landscape, the architecture, the layout, the beautiful swimming pools and jacuzzis and cuisine that hotel has to offer. Picture, if you will, giving away free rooms, free food, and free massages, right? At the Bellagio. Except they only put a fence around the parking garage entrance. Everything else is wide open. You see, that's what Trump has done. He's going to put up 50 miles of fence. He's leaving the rest of it wide open. He pretty much, tied the hands of the security guards, and he's told everybody to come on down. The price is right. The food's free. The sex changes are free. The health care is free. The daycare is free. The housing's free. The legal advice is free. The tuition's free. The dental work is free. The diapers are free. The formula's free. The food is free. And the only thing that is not free is the happy endings. But if you file for your earned income tax credit, then they become free. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what Donald Trump has done by signing this amnesty and doing absolutely nothing about all the free benefits that these people are getting that you and I can't get our hands on. You see, I've got to pay for my, I don't qualify for low-cost auto insurance. I don't qualify for free healthcare with free co-pays on everything, and free doctor visits, and free trips to the doctors, and free dental care, and free sex changes, and free lawyers, and legal advice, and free tuition, and free daycare morning, afternoon, and after school and all summer, and free meals for my kids, and free food for me and my lady friends. I don't qualify for free housing. Illegals do. You show up with an undocumented child or children, have a couple anchor babies, have no income on paper like these illegal alien day laborers do, working for cash under the table, and they get to live with the gal who's got the Section 8 pad going with the EBT card. And they, you know what, right now they could go to McDonald's with that thing and supersize me all you want, and when the diabetes sets in, they get their insulin for nothing, and they get a free ride to the doctors and the pharmacy to get it refilled with no copay. See, that's what they've set up. Donald Trump has set up the Bellagio buffet for all that want to come and break the law and jump the fence, and they get to stay for free too. And guess who pays for it? We do. Number 3. What else does Donald Trump do to destroy the United States? Look at his foreign policy, ladies and gentlemen. Look at his foreign policy. It's a war machine in the making. It is a war machine in the making. Look at what's going on in Venezuela. You know, they're getting ready for a ground war on several fronts right now. I'm not optimistic about who this man has in his cabinet level positions and who he's got running our military, folks. We've got a war hawk in the war room at the White House. All right, haven't we had enough of this war on terror that's cost us trillions and trillions of dollars? We've got all these dead kids that come home draped in flags on these C-17s. And is that something to celebrate? We got nothing to show for trillions of dollars. $5 or $6 trillion we spent on this war on terror. We got nothing. We got nothing. You know what we got right now? We got automation taking our jobs. We got outsourcing of all of the call centers and all of the customer service of all the corporations overseas. That issue hasn't been dealt with. And now we've got all these illegal aliens that have been given a pass to hang out and take all the jobs and plug up all the emergency rooms, all the classrooms. In my school district in Fullerton, where they're microwaving the children and vaccinating the children and irradiating the children and indoctrinating the children, it's being done in Español. Están enseñando en español en las escuelas en Fullerton. Damas y caballeros, escúchame. Y están enseñando en español con nuestros impuestos que hemos pagado. ¿Es justo, damas y caballeros? ¿Sí o no? Pero ya, dime, ¿para qué trabajamos? ¿Para ladrones? ¿Para quién trabajamos? ¿Por qué estamos trabajando 50 horas a la semana pagando impuestos y todavía tenemos que pagar nuestra renta, comida, aseguranza, llantas para el carro, daycare, la dentista, todo? Tenemos que pagar todo. No recibimos nada gratis, damas y caballeros. Escúchame. Y Trump quiere que todo es gratis para los que no siguen las leyes de los Estados Unidos. Dice que está cerrando la frontera, está abierto. Es como el Price is Right. Come on down, dice, right? It's wrong, folks. It's wrong. I drive around Orange County and I see a bunch of veterans standing around, you know, destitute, drugged up, because our foreign policy turned these people into messes, okay? And a lot of it's self-inflicted, I understand, but when you're down and out and you get kicked in the teeth over and over again, eventually you just want to end your pain, and that's where the needles and the syringes and the Coke straws come in, folks. And that's what happens to these people. And so instead of going from high school to hanging drywall, they go from high school to hanging out under the riverbed. In the meantime, you look at who's digging all the ditches, laying all the cable, laying all the pipes, stringing all the wires, doing all the asphalt work. And it's not the Americans, folks. It's the illegal aliens that got over here with fake credentials. And this is round 3 or 4 or 5 or 20 of amnesty. And guess what happens? It's the race to the bottom. Because when you have all these people showing up here getting free crap, they'll work for nothing. And they do. Because they get paid on the back end. Because they get paid in ways that amounts to about 50 to 60 bucks an hour. When you add up the cost of what an illegal alien family costs the taxpayers, it's unbelievable, folks. So we've got to get, and by the way, another one of the biggest threats, which really Trump is also responsible for, is automation of everything and these advancements in technology, robotics. They're getting rid of the need for human workers, folks. So this is a conflagration of a nightmare of events unfolding on us. We've got amnesty, which basically cheapens labor, okay? We've got people pouring into this country left and right that are displacing American workers, and they're bringing in all these, they're going to encourage all this child trafficking, because any undocumented, unaccounted for minor is going to be, you know, like the golden calf, and it's just going to, it's going to be better than an anchor baby. It's like an anchor baby on steroids, because everybody that touches it gets to stay. Okay? Look, you guys are hardcore Trumpers, right? Right? Y'all, look, I voted for him too. You think I wanted that adrenochrome sorceress in the White House that was married to that monster that used to high-five everybody when he walked out of that fake Baptist church after he had about 20 or 30 visits to the ER with the heartbeat that was faster than the supposed revolutions of the earth? I mean, think about this, folks. We got MS-13 pouring into this country, undocumented, unaccompanied minors. You want to know something, folks? This is unbelievable. We got all these kids being trafficked across the border. Trump has done nothing but made it worse, folks. The only way to solve the United States problem with immigration is to begin the end of all of the free services to the illegals. You shut off the magnet and they'll turn around and go home. Let me tell you something. When you start charging market rates for rent at the Bellagio, all the people that have no money, that don't belong there, are going to turn around and leave. But if you tell everybody the rooms are free and the buffet's free, you're going to have a line all the way to the Golden Nugget, folks. I'm telling you. This guy's a total sellout. He's, in my opinion, Trump has done more to destroy this country than any other president we've ever had. And I know a lot of you aren't going to like that statement because you're forever Trumpers and you're part of this cult of personality. Folks, I'm just a logical guy with a family, okay, who thinks on a 7th or 8th grade level on a daily basis. And you cannot tell me that you can have an economy that's healthy when you have labor that is becoming worthless because it's being outsourced and then displaced by automation, and of course, the wages are being depressed by the glut of labor because they're just pouring in here like nobody's business because they work for subpar wages. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can't have a job market that pays a prevailing livable wage when you have a bunch of people that are coming here putting downward pressure on wages. You can't have an economy that has a livable wage when the housing's been commoditized by the upward pressure on rents. And I'm not even gonna talk about the interest rate manipulation under Greenspan and how the commoditization of housing turned into a nightmare with that bubble they produced, that now you can't get a house in Orange County for under $700,000 for some cracker box 1,200 square foot piece of junk with galvanized plumbing and rats in the attic. That's what they cost. Do the math. 100,000 down, $4,000 a month for a piece of junk. That's what it is. Who's got that kind of money? Well, I'll tell you who's got that kind of money. Let me tell you how people can get that kind of money. You see, I'll tell you a little secret, folks. I have a mom and a dad who raised me and took good care of me as a child, loved me and fed me and clothed me and got me a good education in a private school, and I was able to manage to secure employment. And what I did, ladies and gentlemen, is I drove the biggest piece of crap car that I could find. I used to spend a maximum of $250 on an automobile and take every dime I had and put it in the bank and invest it. And I kept saving and saving and saving. And I lived with my parents for years, driving pieces of crap cars until I had enough money to walk into a real estate office and say, I'll take this one, and throw 20% down on the table and said, sign me up. But it took years of saving money without having to pay for housing and without having to pay for expenses with the paychecks that I earned. Well, that's how the illegals get to do it, folks. They don't have to pay for housing. They don't have to pay for medical insurance. They don't have to pay for food. Most of them drive without car insurance. So if they can manage to just budget enough for what they want to, the alcohol that's not covered by the EBT card and the happy endings, they get to pool what's left of their cash with their earned income tax credit refunds every year, and they get to go 2 and 3 families in and buy a house. What does that do to us? Well, it outplaces us, because now you've got people that can afford to save money because they don't have to pay their traditional expenses, and then they can pull the resources to buy the home. Why is it legal for illegal aliens to own real estate? Shouldn't be, folks. Try that in Mexico and see how that works out for you. All right? My point is that Trump is doing everything within his power to lie through his teeth, to pacify people, to make them think that they're getting a good deal when they're okay. This is Donald Trump's method of operation, folks. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, we're going to fix this, we're going to fix this, and then guess what happens? He gets the gold mine and you get the shaft, okay? That's what's happened here, folks. Just I'll tell you what, just go down to the county social service office and try to get yourself one of those ATM cards that spit out French fries and Twinkies and ding-dongs and ho-hos and Count Chocula and Lucky Charms and 2-liter bottles of soda that are turned into 3-liter bottles, and Superstars with extra bacon for the tune of about $800 a month, and then try to get yourself signed up for one of these apartments that cost $300 a month with utilities included. Good freaking luck, okay? Now, if you go in there with a matricula card with a couple of kids and tell them that you don't have any money, that you don't have a job, you'll be walking out of there with diapers, a backpack, formula, a bus pass, EBT card, a free ride to the doctor for the immunizations, and directions to 3 housing complexes and apartment complexes that would like to show you a model. I'm not kidding you! All right. And for those of you corporate guys that got your corporate tax cut, you like what you've done and left for your grandchildren and your children? Are you proud of yourselves for sitting back and counting your money when God's counting literally the second hand on the clock as to how much time you got left on the face of this earth? Because you guys are on your way out. Your days are numbered. You're old. You're going to drop dead pretty soon, but you guys are the ones that love your money, and you guys are the ones that worship this guy, right? He can do no wrong, right? Well, you know what? He crossed the line. All right? This guy has shown me that when he wants to invoke tyrannical powers, which he has, when he wants to yank money away from projects and that have already been approved. And like I said, I don't approve of this bullet train BS. The bullet train in California is nothing but the bullet train that's going to connect the mega regions that you won't be able to leave. The only way out of these walled-in cities that they're going to build is going to be on this train, and most of the country's going to be off limits. You won't be able to use your cars. Blah, 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 blah. He's not doing anything about that, folks. He's not doing anything about that. What he's doing is it's lip service subterfuge, foreign policy from the pit of hell, immigration policies that are criminal, and an automation policy that violates every tenet of our national security, folks. That's right. 5G is a national security threat. All right? All right, this is Joe Imbriano, folks. I think we've had enough this morning. That's right, we've had enough. And I just want to tell you something. I'm a Christian, and Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, ladies and gentlemen, and he should be yours too. I'm not perfect. And you know, I get a little flack once in a while for cussing. You know? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a human being, and I get upset, and I have a good reason to be upset, because I'm dealing with reality. And I got to sit here and listen to these televangelists and listen to these Christian radio stations, and I gotta see these guys on Sundays, and that's what should make you cuss, folks. Looking at these circus clowns making a mockery of the Word of God, making merchandise out of the men and women who sit in the pews, and their sins of omission are 100,000 times worse than the sin of commission of cussing. Okay, all right, we're being sold down the river. The United States is in big trouble. All right. And the United States, if you don't understand, the United States was born in the pulpit, ladies and gentlemen. These committees of correspondence and these original pastors, they took their robes off, and underneath their robes were uniforms, and they had their weapons. They were ready to fight to give rise to this republic that we call home. But now we've got all these churches that are literally a worthless bunch of crooks. Okay, so and they're not going to talk to you about this. They want you to bake cookies for the homeless and accept all of the lifestyles and let all of these people in this country and feed them and clothe them. And no, it doesn't work that way, folks. You see, the Bible is very clear. Borders are a biblical concept. Okay, borders are a biblical concept. Self-defense is a biblical concept. And let me tell you what's not a biblical concept, okay? Thievery and law breaking and not working and getting free stuff is not a biblical concept, folks. All right? And what is happening is we are under the auspices of a regime in Washington, D.C. That is contrary to just about everything in the Bible, regardless of what all of these churches that put Trump in office believe. Okay? All right. P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, folks. 92834. I appreciate hearing from you. I appreciate your donations, your correspondence, your words of encouragement. I got the CDs on the wheat. I've gotten the tracks. I've gotten the videos. I've gotten these books. I've gotten some incredible stuff about what's beyond Antarctica. And it's just, I'm up till 1 o'clock in the morning reading. And yes, I got a letter from somebody recently. We got to get together and have an open forum somewhere in Southern California where I would like to just show up and let all you guys just talk and just meet. It would be a lot of fun. And that's something that's in the works. I've got to figure out the logistics of it. Praise the Lord, folks. God bless all of you guys. Like this video. Get the subscriber count up on this channel. YouTube keeps unsubscribing people and turning off the notifications. Make sure that your bells are clicked with the parentheses around them so you get all of the notifications. You folks have a blessed day, and in Jesus' name,